Okay, solving an absolute value equation in problem type 4. That doesn't matter as much, it's just what we're doing. Absolute value, remember, is the distance from 0. So the first thing we have to remember, distance from 0, if I can write, there we go. Okay, so the goal is the steps. 1, get absolute values alone. Because once we get the absolute value, it will be absolute value equals number of spaces. And then once we have that, our second step is think of change from number of spaces to location. So number 1. And then the last thing is to solve both equations. All right, so when we're solving this one, we have, let's do this color. We have the absolute value of 4u minus 4 plus 10 equals 38. First thing that I need to do is get the absolute value by itself. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. Now, if I get the absolute value equals a negative number, then I can't solve it. It would be because I can't go a negative number of spaces. Now, I was automatically changing to x. So this is a u. So we'll fix it. So 4u minus 4, absolute value, equals 28. Now, this means I'm 28 spaces from 0. So my two equations that I'm going to solve are going to be, I could be at negative 28, and that will equal the middle stuff, 4u minus 4. And then the 4u minus 4 could equal, it could be at 28, because they're both going to be 28 spaces from 0. And then we get to finish solving these. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. And we have negative 24 equals 4u. And this one, we would add 4 as well. And we have 4u equals 32. Now, for each one of them, I'm going to divide by 4 because I want u by itself. And I have negative 6 equals u. And for this one, divide by 4. I have u equals 8. All right, and I can put those answers in either order. Usually I go smallest to largest, so I have negative 6, and they say we can separate them with a comma, and then 8. And we will check, and we will write the next problem. So we've got 2 more of these to do if we get them all correct. All right, so remember, when the negative for that absolute value, it's when the absolute value is completely by itself. So for this one, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. So we have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 5 minus 53 equals negative 14. Yes, I have an absolute value. I have a negative number, but the absolute value is not by itself. So I can't just say, oh, there's not going to be a solution until I get the absolute value by itself. So I'm going to add 53 to both sides. So I have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 5 equals 39. That was 53 minus 14. Yep, 39. All right, and then I'm still going to get it by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by that 3. So I have the absolute value of x plus 5 is going to be 13 spaces from 0. So now I can do my 2 equations. So I know 13 spaces from 0, I could be at negative 13 equals x plus 5. And then I could also be at 13. And then I get to solve each of these, which hopefully isn't going to be too bad. So minus 5, minus 5. So this is negative 18 equals x. Subtract 5, minus 5. X equals 8. Yep, 8. All right, plugging in my answers. I have negative 18 and I have 8. And as long as I added correctly, I should be good. And then we have one more to do, and then this topic will be done as well. All right, so this one, they're kind of being a little cute. No, they're just trying to make it a little bit different. So I have 4 times the absolute value of 3x minus 3 equals 0. In this case, I'm going to get the absolute value by itself, just as I've done for everything else. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So I have the absolute value of 3x minus 3 equals 0. Now, with this, I'm going to be 0 spaces from 0, so that means I'm going to be at 0. So in this problem, I'm not going to have 2 answers. I really only have the one, so I'm going to be solving, because negative 0 doesn't make sense. So we have 3x minus 3 equals 0. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. And 3x equals 3. Divide by 3. And I have x equals 1. All right, so for this one, I'm going to, instead of put the answer in, I am going to say for an explanation so that we can check our answer, because I do want to have a special case where there is a no solution, and it just might take me a bit to do it, and it's easiest if I'm working on my problems. So we're going to click to the explanation, and I'm going to lose my problem. So I'm going to save and clear all my drawings. I know x equals 1. If I look at the explanation, it will solve that problem for me, and it does get x equals 1. So now we're going to go and get another problem. Yes, and this is exactly what I was hoping that we would get. I'm actually going to have to do another 2, but I won't record the last one. So this time I have 4 times the absolute value of 2v plus 4 minus 5 equals negative 29. I want to get the absolute value by itself. So I'm going to first of all get rid of this minus 5. So plus 5. And I have 4 times the absolute value of 2v plus 4 equals negative 24. Divide both sides by that 4, so I get the absolute value by itself. That will cancel with that, and divide by 4. So I have the absolute value of 2v plus 4 equals negative 6. Remember, this is spaces from 0. I can go in a negative direction. I can be at negative 6 on a number line, but I can't go a negative number of spaces. That is just not possible to do. I'd have to know how to do wormhole theory and all that stuff. It'd be great for travel. However, no, it's not possible to actually do. So for this one, my answer is going to be no solution, because I can't have the absolute value be a negative number of spaces. When I check my work, it will be correct. And I will consider this. I have done 4 equations. And, you know, we've done the topic, but we will yet again do another one. So it's going to be a longer video just because there's more examples. I was going to not record this, but we'll just do this one for it. So for this one, should be a nice quick one. So absolute value of 6y plus 3 minus 62 equals negative 11. I'm going to add 62 to both sides. So this video will have all the different types that we can have. So absolute value of 6y plus 3 equals 51. Now get rid of the absolute value, thinking, so I'm 51 spaces from 0. I can get rid of the absolute value by saying, oh, if I'm 51 spaces, I'm at negative 51 equals 6y plus 3, or 6y plus 3 equals, I could be 51 at 51, and that is 51 spaces from 0 as well. Subtract 3 from both sides. I have negative 54 equals 6y divided by 6. I have y equals negative 9. And for this one, subtract 3. 6y equals 47. No, 48. Yeah, 48. Divide by 6. Y equals 8. So my answers for this problem, assuming that I actually have my division correctly, so I have a negative 9 and an 8, hopefully. And the problem is now done. So we've got extra examples in this video. Remember, you can bounce around. So